Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, if you're an executive or marketing leader looking at your growth dashboards right now, you're probably noticing a seriously frustrating trend. You're pouring budget into digital channels, but the returns, they just aren't what they used to be. Well, today, we're unpacking a fundamental shift in how we actually view marketing spend. We're moving away from renting fleeting moments of attention and shifting toward a strategy that literally compounds over time. So I want you to consider this for a second. What if the absolute biggest marketing advantage you could have today isn't advertising at all? I know, it totally challenges the status quo. For years, the default growth playbook has been super simple, right? Just buy attention. But today, we're going to explore exactly why that old playbook is breaking down and look at a much more sustainable path to real growth. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the display ad dilemma, the illusion of bought attention. Right now, display ads are going up against four pretty formidable enemies. First up is banner blindness. We have become so skilled at navigating the web that studies show we actually unconsciously overlook ads completely. Like, we literally don't even see them anymore. Second, ad blockers. This software is actively hiding your campaigns before they even get a chance to load. Third is low trust. Today's savvy consumer, they know that banner's only there because you paid for it. It carries zero independent credibility. And finally, rising costs. You're just getting severely diminishing returns in an increasingly crowded and expensive space. Millions. And we aren't just talking about a tiny handful of, tech-savvy early adopters here. Millions of users are actively utilizing ad blocking software every single day. If your strategy relies solely on display ads, a massive chunk of your target audience has basically built a giant digital wall to keep you out. So how do we get past that wall? We walk right through the front door. Section 2, enter media alliances, the antidote to consumer skepticism. Let's get really clear on exactly what we mean here. Media alliances are strategic partnerships between businesses and credible third-party platforms. Think industry publishers, respected podcasts, influencers. The goal isn't just to buy space. It's about creating genuinely valuable content and sharing your real expertise. You're earning your exposure through trust rather than just forcing a paid placement. And this brilliantly illustrates what these alliances actually look like in execution. It's things like your executives writing guest articles on highly respected industry websites. It's doing a long-form podcast interview where you're dropping actionable insights, not just a 15-second pitch. It's providing expert commentary in major news publications when the industry shifts, or running strategic digital PR campaigns. These are all channels where the audience is already leaning in, right? They're actively looking for value, not waiting for the skip ad button to pop up. Moving right along to Section 3, why media partnerships win, the trust and ROI multiplier. Just look at the massive paradigm shift between these two models. Traditional display ads, they are paid interruptions. The visibility is totally temporary, consumer trust is low, and the second you turn off the marketing budget, boom, your traffic flatlines. Now, media alliances, on the other hand, are completely earned. They offer serious long-term SEO benefits, tap into high third-party trust, and most importantly, the traffic and authority actually compound over time. It's literally the difference between renting an apartment and building long-term equity in a home. Now, what's really interesting here is visualizing that compounding ROI. With display ads, sure, the traffic is there while the money flows, but it stops dead in its tracks the minute the campaign is over. But media coverage? That often comes with backlinks from high-authority websites, which works wonders for your Google rankings. A single feature article or a great podcast interview can keep generating organic traffic, leads, and credibility for months or even years after it initially drops. The ROI doesn't stop, it compounds. And here is the absolute crucial takeaway. Authority is a competitive advantage that your competitors just cannot easily replicate through advertising alone. I mean, anyone with a credit card can go buy a banner ad, right? But not everyone can get their CEO interviewed by a top-tier publication. Showing up regularly in respected media builds this incredible, uncopyable moat around your brand. So how do we actually make this happen? Section 4, how to build alliances, the executive playbook. Let's move to step 1 and see how this builds. Step 1 is simply to identify your partners. You need to find the exact publications and podcasts that your specific target audience is already trusting. Step 2, create valuable content. Look, this is where most brands stumble. You've got to provide real insights and data. Leave the sales pitch at home. Step 3, Invest in thought leadership. Position your executives as the leading voices they are, not just salespeople. And finally, step 4, build long-term relationships. The most effective partnerships aren't one-offs. They're ongoing collaborations that bring real value to both you and the publisher. Which brings us to our final point. Section 5. The future is earned trust, authenticity over interruption. Today's modern consumers demand a lot. They want authenticity, real expertise, absolute transparency, social proof, and independent validation. They're incredibly informed, and honestly, they're skeptical for a good reason. They don't just want you to tell them how amazing your company is. They want a completely independent, trusted source to validate that claim for them. If you want to survive in today's landscape, you have to satisfy these demands. And traditional advertising alone, it just cannot deliver on these 5 pillars. So that leaves us with this incredibly powerful core thesis. Consumers trust credibility more than advertising. Earn attention, don't buy it. As you're mapping out your marketing strategy for the next quarter, I really want you to ask yourself, are you just buying fleeting interruptions in a totally ad-fatigued world? Or are you actively building those credible, trust-based media alliances that are going to compound your brand's authority for years to come? The choice is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.